This is Ben Simmons is becoming the biggest liability in NBA history by Swish Out. The Ben Simmons thing is becoming a real interesting because I think he has 14 fouls in 3 games, fouled out of 2 of the games this season. And he's playing bad even to Ben Simmons standards of like not shooting. He's playing bad to that. So yeah.
Most of what I have to say to that is just trusting that he's a professional and that his skills are going to catch up. I'm not going to give him any excuses. Of course, I don't think he wants any excuses from me. But the relationship that we've developed is really centered around just holding each other to that high standard and knowing that, we're capable of doing
that fit. He got on the
but a lot of it
what's
is
it called? Fit.
All right, man. Ben
You get on that
Simmons
Horton here's a
is
who fit.
slowly turning into the worst contract in the NBA, and it's starting to not even be close. Obviously, Russell
Why can't you not
Westbrook
donate?
and
Do
John
exclamation
Wall,
point
they
donate. Do not
both
work.
shared that crown for the last few years, but with both of their contracts pretty much expiring, that's now Ben Simmons' title. The Nets owe this man 113 more millions, and with the game he has, he's nowhere near close to being worth that. Now, I've tried to be patient with Ben, and initially when this trade first happened, it was easy for me to even say the Nets won. James Harden seems to be on a rapid decline out of nowhere with Brooklyn. With the rule changes, the Kyrie fiasco, like it looked
Thank you,
bad.
SOS King.
Brooklyn,
Appreciate
they
that.
were one of the worst defensive teams in the league with James Harden. And Ben Simmons seemed to be the fresh, much-needed legs, at least defensively, to patch a lot of their problems. But Ben Simmons, as we all know, he never played 1 minute for Brooklyn, even after he got traded in February. He had the mental health problems that kept him away from basketball, the back injuries, and to be honest, I feel like James Harden himself, he saved and bought this man way more time. As irritating as Ben Simmons' reasonings for not playing at all last year, as irritating as that was, James Harden melting like he did in the playoffs last year, it bought this man more time because they made the trade seem fair. You got to remember, this was before James Harden signed his contract. So at the time, it looked like Brooklyn, they got stuck with this 6'10", freakishly talented dude with a major deficiency in his game. And Philly got stuck with this superstar way past his prime, and they had to pay him superstar crazy historic money because he had all the leverage. So again, the trade looked dead even. It didn't seem like it was much of a winner. But now it's no running.
That's the way to put it.
Philly actually got James Harden on a discount because he took less money, so they actually benefited from getting James Harden. They got a better player with less years for less money. And Ben Simmons came back and looked like he damn near regressed. And Ben Simmons' coach, Steve Nash, I'm just not a believer, man. Like, he doesn't seem like a motivator, and he doesn't seem like he knows how to push the right buttons. He said something before the season even started that, to me, continues to further stunt this man's growth and stroke his terrible ego. He literally said, I don't care if Ben Simmons takes one shot or something crazy like that. As a coach, before you even played one game or coached one game with this man, you set the stage for this man to be on the exact same stuff that landed him in Brooklyn. Like, I know you want to keep his spirit.
Hope you had a good day. And thank you for the stream.
Thank you, Google Maga Hai. What does that mean? But thank you for the $6.90. I appreciate that. The happy late birthday. Yes. I'm
within
elder.
the team and keep him happy and make him feel like his extremely limited skill set is necessary for y'all to win. But telling him what he wants to hear as opposed to what he needs to know, you're just stunning his growth as a player, and he's never going to develop like that. JJ Redick, I love his podcast. I love his analysis. I love his relationship with players and all that. But when Ben Simmons came on his podcast, he was just, to me, a yes man. Like, he was telling him again
That's the
what
same
he wants
thing.
to hear as opposed to what he needs to know.
People let not let him get away with it because I think JJ has to stay. It's becoming a very player empowered league, like empowered players. And I'm saying whatever. It's becoming a very empowered world. Like, just empower people for whatever. Just screw it. Just empower them. And he like empowered Ben for just being Ben and like existing. And then like he said like a few like remarks like about like, oh yeah, you should have dunked the ball there. Like when Trey whatever the whole thing happened, and then like kind of got let away with doing so, like, and not asking Ben any of the hard hitting questions. But at the same time, if JJ wasn't a guy to be comfortable with, Ben would have never even appeared on the public scene in the first place. The podcast was but at the same time, there's so many questions in the air with Ben at the time of this podcast when it comes to hasn't played in over a year, his jump shooting, his mental health, his injuries. What's the most important out of these? So you could pick and choose. And then also just how good of a player he was, his IQ, defense. So there's so many different topics to go to with Ben, positive and negative, to where you could decide where to focus. And JJ clearly seemed to decide to focus on the positive, and then more so like just like kind of chiming in on like mental health and the injury, I guess, and then like the time and but like nothing got answered in that interview, which sucks because it was like over an hour long, but nothing got answered in that interview, like really at all. But I don't know if that's I don't know if it needs to be. It never needs to be answered if he just plays good. That's it. So yeah, that's really it. And it's not like at this point, if Ben Simmons doesn't become what he needs to become, it's too far gone. It's not going to change. Like, he's 26 years old. He is what he is. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's about it. You tell JJ and Ben are friends on that podcast. Yeah, that's really it.
Like that. JJ Redick, I love his podcast. I love his analysis. I love his relationship with players and all that. But when Ben Simmons came on his podcast, he was just, to me, a yes man. Like, he was telling him again what he wants to hear as opposed to what he needs to know.
Get off my case. Like, I do other stuff too. Like, I'm guarding the best players, and that's one thing I don't think people respect that enough. Like, what I'm bringing to the court.
But your 3-point shot creation for others over like a 3-season stretch was #1 in the league by far. You know what I mean? So like, yes, you weren't shooting threes, but you were
Ben
getting
will just
guys
drive and
like
just scoop it off to it.
Yeah, you were getting guys like me open looks.
Yeah, and that's. I think I've looked at the numbers too, and they're pretty crazy. Yeah, I don't want to toot my own horn, but
Brett Brown, the Philadelphia 76ers old coach. He was probably the best coach Ben Simmons has ever had in his entire life. Why? Because he actually pushed this man and urged this man to grow as a player. He threatened him. I will bench you if you don't develop your shot. He told this man, I want you to take at least 1 3-pointer a night. That's coaching. Push the right buttons. Steve, off the rip, made the exact same mistake Doc did, continuing to defend this man. And where the hell did it get Doc ultimately?
Ben Simmons can still be a point guard for a championship team like the one you guys want to become?
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now. So I don't know the answer to that.
Everybody knows how bad of a shooter Russell Westbrook is, but damn, at least he tries. Draymond has the ugliest shot in the NBA.
Hold on. That's where I've actually thought maybe Ben's making the right choice from time to time. Like, I think he said that in the interview. Actually, he said something about like, what if I just go out there chucking 5 threes a game? Or either it was him or a comment or a reaction. Maybe it was just me. I don't really remember. But something about like, what if he goes out there just chucking 5 threes a game? I think it was him. He said it himself, but it just sounds kind of out of character because most of that stuff was like yes men type of answers. But like, what if I go out there? And then you're gonna wish you had this back. So, but just the threat of having it. But man, Westbrook is an anomaly though. I guess Draymond too, but Westbrook is a real anomaly with it because Westbrook, bro, they left that man open for that mid-range, bro. They just left.
He keeps defenses honest because he tries. Ben doesn't even try. Ben does his signature every single play offensively. Get the ball, sprint to Kevin Durant or Kyrie, set a pick on their defender, and get out the way. He does that every single play.
It's like a center.
He's averaging almost 4 turnovers a game because he's so predictable in his approach. And he also gets stuck in this weird, I try to run because he's so predictable.
7 assists. You're 7 assists and 4 turnovers is crazy. With only 6 points. Bro, 4 turnovers is crazy.
And he also gets stuck in this weird, I try to run.
Was that Matisse though?
He's so predictable in his approach.
Yeah, that's Matisse. That's a good clip though.
And sprint to KD or Kyrie, but they're being smothered. And I picked up my dribble, so now I'm stuck with the ball, waiting for somebody to bust open because I don't have any dribbles left. He does that like 5 times.
And no fadeaway
right now. And this is kind of nitpicky, but Ben Simmons is averaging close to 60 passes a game. That's not bad at all. Like, that's moving the offense. That's keeping things within the flow. But if you look at the next category, which is passes received, everybody else is around the 60s, 70s, some in the 80s because they get the ball back. Ben is in the 40s. That's because in the half court, if he's not right by the rim, he's irrelevant. He doesn't do a thing right now. And you could take this with a grain of salt for whatever it's worth. Even with one less game played, Ben Simmons has the third lowest plus minus in the league, and he's the lowest on his team. And he's even drugged Kevin Durant down with him because they share the court so much together. Ben Simmons is only averaging 5 points and basically 5 much together. Ben Simmons.
Hey, Royce O'Neal's right there. I mean, maybe it's a team thing. Maybe it's. I'm not saying it's not on him too, but it's not like it's just him and KD.
Points and basically 5 fouls. But I'm not going to hone in on the points. If you're missing shots, you're missing shots. It's the fact that he doesn't take any. He's only taking 4 shots a night. That's 7th on his team. This is why I said Steve Nash should have learned from Doc's mistake and not set the tone as his coach saying that yes man ass stuff. If you look at Ben's trajectory, it's going downhill. Every single year since he's been in this league, his field goal attempts have significantly and consistently gone down in the playoffs and the regular season. And right now, it's like at an all-time low. And defensively, and I know it's early, it's way too early to even be giving this analysis, but this is just what we have so far. Defensively, that's what he was supposed to help with this team, right? Zion Williamson in the first game of the season, he ate this man for lunch.
Yeah,
CJ
yeah.
McCollum and Brandon Ingram also had big games. In the second game of the season, Pascal Siakam had 37 and damn near looked like a mini Kevin Durant on them. Last night against Memphis, he fouled out and Memphis's backcourt
the foul against Ja was hilarious.
So I'm not even really seeing
yeah.
it. And Memphis's backcourt damn near scored 80.
Yeah, Bane had 38 and I think Ja had 35.
So I'm not even really seeing it defensively. The Brooklyn Nets last year, they were one of the worst defensive teams, 18th in defensive rating. This year with Ben Simmons, the life-changing defender, defensive player of the year candidate, all that. And I know it's extremely early, I get that. But right now they're dead last. So again, I'm just not seeing it that much. Never forget, the Brooklyn Nets didn't just trade James Harden for Ben Simmons straight up. Like, that wasn't the deal. You have to include the full package. They traded 4 players, which included Taurean Prince, Jared Allen, and Karis LeVert. 4 first-round picks, 4 pick swaps.
Oh, you're talking about the previous trade.
A half-season.
Yeah, no. You include the previous trade. Yeah, no, it gets nasty because Jared Allen. Yeah, Jared Allen's cooking over there in Cleveland still. That's a nice, and 4 first, 3 swap. Yeah, man. Sean Marks put on a trashster class. Jesus Christ, what a guy.
Season of Andre Drummond and Seth
Allen
Curry.
wasn't for Ben. Allen was for Harden, and Harden was no. You know, it took me a second too, but Allen was for Harden, and Harden got traded for Ben. That's simple. That was for KD and John. No, it wasn't. No, it was not. No. You don't know what you're talking about, my brethren. No, it wasn't. Don't worry. No. It wasn't. That wasn't how they had to clear the. Bro, the season already started. They traded this after the season started. This wasn't to clear the cap. They traded Allen because they didn't want to re-sign him. They didn't want to go over the luxury tax. That's it. They could have re-signed him. Tweaking. No, you don't need to go to Google. I'm right here. How you doing?
This man has to produce. They invested a significant amount of their future essentially for him. Right now, out of every player with a max contract with a good amount of years left on their deal, I feel the least confident about Ben Simmons. Offensively, he doesn't participate.
Let me see that again. List. I show on the top, but I assume they're all good. Well, I guess Westbrook's up there probably. The Garland. Okay, yeah. Durant, Dame, Beal, Joel, Shea, Zach LaVine, Porter Jr. Okay, Porter Jr. is an interesting one injury-wise. He might not feel confident as because of his injuries, but I mean, Ben was just injured the whole season, so I don't know.
Confident about Ben Simmons. Offensively, he doesn't participate unless he's setting a screen with the ball in his hands. I've never seen a player continuously sprint to his guy with the ball in his hand to set a screen. He does that every single play. And defensively, he overcompensates for his lack of offense by being
and then Claxton's standing right there,
the fouls, and then he's out the game. Like, that's not max contract worthy. I'll wrap it up with this.
Can he make that?
I really want to emphasize this point. Brooklyn, they don't want Ben Simmons to work out. They need Ben Simmons to work out. The tape is out. Everybody's seen how drama-filled he is off the court and how flawed he is on the court. So I don't think you can trade him, especially on that contract. You gave up a lot of your future to get this man. It was originally James Harden, but it turned into Ben Simmons. And if Kyrie does leave next year, which is a big possibility, Kevin Durant is coming back with that trade request, and it's no moving Ben. You're stuck with him. So like I said, that can be a mess. You need Ben Simmons to work out. If you guys like this video, turn on post notifications.
Shout out to you. What's funny about the Ben situation to me is more important than the Westbrook situation, because I already knew Westbrook was trash. Like, I've been saying Westbrook, like, I don't mean this even as an attack on character, or oh, he's not gonna have a good time with his family and kids. No, you can have all the fun time you want, but what's it called? I've been saying he wasn't good since he was on the Wizards, since the Rockets even. Or even the Thunder. I've been saying he makes bad decisions. You lose the athleticism that propelled you past those bad decisions. You become bad decisions and nothing else. And you even lost a little bit of the shooting, the little bit of shooting he had. So I knew what Westbrook was going to be. I didn't, after seeing Ben gone for so long. Ben was like a 15, 7 and 8 type of guy. You know what I'm saying? Pretty consistently. And now he's averaging like 6, 4, 7 and 5, 7 and something. Like, it's been bad. 4 turnovers, yeah, that's bad. It's only 3 games though. He could switch it up, but way more spotlight on this situation when a dude who has 3 years left on his max contract is 26 years old and was the number 1 pick just a few years ago, and kind of earned that number 1 overall. Not sure, but yeah. That's it though. But I hope he turns it around. I hope so.